Hello and thank you again for joining me in another video. Today we're going to upgrade our cooling system. The new radiator is here, so let's go ahead and jump in. Please check out the video that I've done on this fan if you haven't already seen it, and everything is nicely working. Next we're going to go ahead and do this fan. Today we're tackling the radiator, and we've already done the thermostat, so I'll post a video on that soon. We've also replaced the two sensors up top. But today we're going to go ahead and start separating the hoses and getting this unit out. So we've already disconnected the bottom hose, let that drain. Disconnect this hose. Next we're going to go ahead and remove our oil cooler. We're going to disconnect it. This unit is in bad shape, but we are going to leave it in place right now. You can see how it's all corroded and it does need to be replaced, but we are going to leave that for now. This over here looks really bad, and we're going to go ahead and put our attention to this unit right now. This has to come off in order for us to get to the metal cores that's inside. If we can't take it off, then we'll have to replace the entire radiator. Leave a 1 1/4 to get this off, and the one down there. So once we've separated the oil cooler from the car and the two radiator hose, don't forget that there's a connection right down in front. I'll show that to you in a bit. We're going to pull this up and out. So there's the sensor, brand new sensor, but it's not turning on. Why? Because there's no flow going through the radiator. So upon closer inspection, there are a few patched holes. Looks like there's some damage right there that was supposedly patched. A lot of damaged fins. But again, the main problem is these lines running through here. These lines could be clogged up, not allowing the heat to be dissipated properly. There's the back of our sensor in there. And if the sensor is not reading hot temperatures, it won't turn on. See that it's damaged right here? So that's the front of the radiator. On this side, there is none. There's just the radiator connection. I'll just go ahead and flip this around to the other side. And I think the biggest damage is right here. Not sure what that means, if that means that we have a serious leak. I don't see any leaks outside of the radiator. But in order to fix this, I will have to take these plastic brackets off, these two. And in order to get them off, we have to pry these off. So we're gonna first see if that can work, that doesn't work, then we need a new radiator. So using 2 screwdrivers, I was able to go around and lift up each of these tabs. Using 1 screwdriver for leverage, I was able to use the other screwdriver just to get underneath these tabs and lift them up gently. Go ahead and pry this off. Again, this is plastic, so you want to be very careful with it. This section houses the transmission oil cooler. It looks to be in great shape. There is no damage that I could see. Might be able to reuse this, but if we buy a new radiator, we don't need this. Apparently somebody tried to fix it before. These things are sitting inside the radiator. This is why I'm not a huge fan of these products that you pour inside the radiator to fix a leak, because this is what happens over time. It clogs up the entire radiator and you'll have to replace it anyway. A lot of these are clogged up. There's debris. You could only imagine what's inside. So this is an old dipstick that I had laying around. Pretty long. Of course, you know, they're sturdy and very thin. And what do you know? It goes the whole length of the radiator. Look at that. So I'm going to go through each of these holes. There's a lot of resistance and a lot of rust. So I'm going to go through each of these and I will come back. So the previous owner must have tried to stop a leak, because right here, see this? This won't go any further. This whole top part right here is clogged up. This won't even move freely. It's basically stuck in there. That's as far as it goes, right up in this area, all clogged up. This is where the oil cooler connects. So apparently, from sitting for 17 years, the radiator rusted on top, or clogged up. The bottom is okay, top is rusted out. This refused to go any further, and these holes are totally clogged up. So the next thing I'm going to do here is to connect my hose to this radiator and see how bad it is. Yes, and look at that. Just as I suspected, water is barely flowing through this. Over on the left side, we have water coming down, and the right side, there's barely anything. So about 80% of this radiator is clogged up in my estimation. So it's time to get a new one. Join me in the next video when we replace this radiator.